Welcome to Logistics Business Conversations, where we talk with key spokespeople in the logistics industry about topical issues. Hosted by Peter MacLeod, editor of Logistics Business magazine.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. My name's Peter MacLeod and I welcome you all to this latest edition of Logistics Business Conversations. In today's episode, we're going to be exploring the very topical subject of reusable pallets at a time when businesses are striving to drive carbon out of their logistics operations. I'm joined today by Jason Lee. He's the General Manager of Europe for ALSCO. Hi, Jason, and welcome to the show.
Hello, Peter. Thank you very much for your invitation and warm introduction.
It's great to have you here, Jason. And a quick look at your website indicates that you're more than just pallet pooling company. So perhaps you can just kick things off today by explaining your core business model and how it differs from what we would describe as traditional logistics packaging solutions.
ALSCO's core business model is the shared leasing and pooling service of reusable packaging. We provide customers with a standardized and recyclable pallet, plastic pallet box, and other packaging containers. Instead of a one-time purchase, customers pay for the usage through leasing. We are responsible for the entire lifecycle management, including the design, production, distribution, tracking, recycling, repair, and reuse. Unlike traditional single-use packaging, such as a wooden pallet or cardboard box, our model significantly reduces customers' capital investment, avoid the accumulation of packaging waste, and achieve higher efficiency and sustainability through large-scale pooling. This not only helps customers optimize supply chain costs, but also directly contributes to carbon reduction and resource recycling.
So what were the needs of your customers that you are aiming to address when you put your focus on these returnable solutions?
ALSCO was founded in 1998 when the Chinese logistic packaging market was still dominated by the wooden pallets, which were inefficient and generated a lot of waste and led to a fragmented supply chain. The founder of ALSCO, Mr. Tony Swen, keenly perceived the strong demand from industries such as the automotive sector for standardized and reliable packaging, especially for durable and reusable solutions to support complex supply chain. Our initial focus on reusable packaging was precisely to meet the market demand of manufacturing industry such as automotive, retail, and chemical for cost control, supply chain stability, and early environmental awareness. Today, this mode has expanded to respond to the global sustainable development trend, helping customers to address resource shortages and the environmental regulation pressures.
Your role is the General Manager for Europe. So what are the vertical markets that you're working in Europe? What sort of customers would you say are using your solutions?
So in Europe, the automotive manufacturing, new energy vehicles, chemicals, and the retail industries are of greatest strategic significance to ALSCO. These industries have complex supply chain, large transportation volume, and extremely higher requirements for the durability, sterilization, and the traceability of packaging. So at the same time, strike environmental regulation in Europe, such as the EU Circular Economy Action Plan and customer inspection for the ESG, make a reusable packaging an ideal choice, especially in the automotive and the new energy sectors. We have collaborated with many global OEMs and components suppliers, helping them achieve efficient and green cross-border logistics through pooling service.
You mentioned the sort of circular economy principles. How does that shape your product development and what you ultimately become to offer to the customers?
During the product development stage, we give priority to using the recycled materials and ensure that packaging design is easy to maintain, reuse, and ultimately recycle. This directly impacts customer service. We offer full lifecycle management from demand assessment to recycling and maintenance, forming a closed loop system. This approach not only extends the lifespan of packaging, but also helps customer reduce the waste, lower their carbon footprint, and optimize asset utilization through a data platform, achieving a true share economy.
You know, Jason, everything I write about, everything I read within logistics, we're talking about carbon saving, we're talking about sustainability. And I think our listeners like real hard examples. You know, they want data, they want numbers for this to sort of stack up. So can you give us some, shall we say, some measurable impacts that ALSCO has achieved for its customers, perhaps, you know, around waste reduction or carbon reduction?
Sure. One of the typical achievements is that by replacing single-use packaging with a reusable pallet box, which we call it sleeve box, we help our clients reduce approximately 980 tons of material waste, such as cardboard or wood annually. Also cutting about 480 tons of CO2 emissions. These figures are derived from our independent evaluation of multiple projects and demonstrate the environmental benefits of the circular model. Furthermore, through efficient pooling and maintenance, our assets can be recycled dozens of times, significantly contributing to our clients' like ESG Scope 3 emission reduction targets.
ALSCO is a global company, or it has customers around the world, but you have responsibility for Europe. Are you able to sort of say how Europe compares to the other regions when it comes to the environmental and ESG performance?
Yeah, European customers do indeed have a higher and stricter expectation of ESG. They often regard sustainability as a core procurement criterions driven by the EU Green Deal and all upcoming packaging regulations such as PPWR and require supplier to provide a detailed carbon footprint reports and third-party certification. Compared to Asia or other regions, Europe places the greater emphasis on full supply chain transparency and quantifiable metrics, which promotes us to continuously enhance our tracking technology and reporting capability to better support our customers' complaints and also the brand commitment.
I'm glad you mentioned tracking technology there, because no logistics business conversation would be complete without a section when we talk about the digitalization of the logistics industry. And, you know, when I think of packaging and when I think of pallets, it doesn't feel to me like it's the leading edge when it comes to the technology. But I guess as a company that's leading in this space, do you want to introduce some digital tools? So can you tell me about sort of the ALSCO strategy around digitization?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So digitalization is kind of a second stage of upgrade for our packaging business. So actually, digitalization now is a core pillar of ALSCO's pooling service. Our self-developed data platform, we call it Find Me. The name is Find Me, so which means you can find. So it enables real-time tracking of assets throughout their entire life cycle. So include the location, status, and the circulation history. This significantly enhance pooling efficiency, reduce the lost rate, and also provide the customer with a visual dashboard that support productive maintenance and demand planning.
So what are these technologies you're using then? Is it good old IoT, Internet of Things? Are you using RFID? What is this technology that you're using?
The hardware we use is using the IoT technology, the principle. And you know this the extensive application of IoT and RFID technology has been a key advancement in recent years. This technology enable us to embed the sensors in packaging assets. We install this sensor or tracker to our pallet and the box. So it can be to monitor the parameters such as the location, temperature, and shock in real time. This not only enhances service reliability, but also can provide the customers with a more advanced value. We can tell them where the material, where is their product, and also to support the warehousing management, like how inbound, outbound, although the storage management. Also, such as the cold chain, actually, the cold chain assurance and anomaly alert. It's like a temperature change. This is particularly suitable for the automotive parts.
As cold chain is one that you can understand where the need is going to be greatest there. When I talk to suppliers to the industry, particularly of technological products, they say one of the challenges is getting their products integrated into the IT systems of their customers. There are no specifically common standards across the globe. So what does integration look like from ALSCO's perspective? And, how important is it to get that just right?
Okay, so integration is crucial. It ensures seamless data exchange, enables end-to-end visibility and traceability, and helps customer integrate into their ERP or TMS system. So this not only enhances operational efficiency, but also support complex reporting, such as the EU supply chain due diligence requirements. We always prioritize provide an API interface to flexibly adapt this to the IT ecosystem of different customers.
I want to talk a little bit about your ambitions for Europe in particular. You must have some great opportunities across the region to grow your customer base. How are you positioning yourself to sort of take advantage of these opportunities?
The greatest growth opportunities in Europe is now is a time to electrification transformation of the automotive industry. So Chinese automotive now is already changed to the EV completely. Very successful, I would say. Circular demand in the chemical sector and sustainable development driving retail. So we respond to these opportunities quickly by registering as a local company in Germany. So we have localized the company in Germany, and also establishing a local partnership network. So combine with a localized service team and the maintenance center. At the same time, we actually to participate a lot of exhibition in Europe, in UK, in Italy, Germany, France, Netherlands. And also we are the membership of the ALS, like BVL. So we joined to promote our pooling concept and models.
I was going to ask you what were some of the challenges that you've encountered as you sort of scale across Europe, but I think you've listed some of the areas where you're already smoothing those over. But what about from the perspective maybe of a business that's not European? What are the challenges in rolling out across Europe? When we've got a variation in regulations from country to country, we've got language issues, you've got cultural issues. Maybe give us a little bit of an insight about some of the experiences you've had as you've grown in Europe.
We localize the team here to make sure we have suitable culture thing like that. We enter into Europe, so we face the strict regulatory requirements such as product certification and packaging regulations. Also the circular difference such as a higher expectation of contract and the transparency and the complexity of cross-border logistics. This is a lot of challenge there. And this challenge will overcome through localized team, complex investment, and also cooperation with the European partners, ultimated to transforming into competitive advantage.
I think it's an absolute key point that you make there. People want to deal with in their own country. They want to speak to people who speak their language, and I fully appreciate that. Is that the same approach that you have, for example, as you grow Asia as well, or other global regions?
The European strategy placed greater emphasis on complex and ESG integration, deeply aligning with the local regulation. In contrast, Asia stresses scalability and the rapid response to the manufacturing demands. Generally speaking, Europe is focused more the partner ecosystems and digital innovation, while Asia is concentrated on the density of local networks. So that's why the current competitive in China or in Asia is very stressful.
People like to carry on doing what they've always done. They don't like to shop and change stuff. So how do you sort of help them manage that move from shall we say, a traditional packaging solution, traditional palleting solution, which is effectively single use, to a reusable one? How are they responding to that? What are the barriers that you're coming against?
I would say the overall response has been positive when we promote the concept, with many enterprise viewing it as an opportunity for cost saving and sustainable transformation. So common obstacle include the initial change management, concern assess tracking, and supply chain in intertier. So we assist our clients in making smooth transition through the pilot project, to like go directly one big project. And also we do ROI demonstrations, and also the flexible leasing model, like make some more choice and also transform smoothly.
Yes, ROI, I guess, can mean also, ROI in terms of sustainability environmentally, but also ROI in terms of cost savings and
Yes,
efficiencies.
correct.
Well, are you able to give us some examples of some of those customers that have enjoyed ROI, and what sort of levels have they achieved?
Okay, so I cannot give some name, but I can share some examples. Of course, in automotive parts supplier recently have achieved a reduction of over 20% in packaging cost, significant decrease in waste actually, and an improvement in supply chain, particularly by adopting our pooling pallet box, the sleeve box. Another automotive OEM is a joint OEM in China. They have factory. Also, they have a factory in Europe. This customer has reported that the circular model has to help them to save tens of thousands of tons of one-time KD packaging, like export import, each year, while significantly reduce the carbon emission, perfectly aligned with their ESG goals.
And I guess you're not just helping them to achieve those goals, but you're improving their supply chain performance as well. Have you got sort of anecdotes from your customers to suggest that that's the case also, that their supply chains are becoming more efficient? Jason, in Logistics Business Conversations, I'm going to ask you to get your crystal ball out. Do you know what I mean by that, the crystal ball, where you look into the future?
What's next in logistics? We're asking the experts. In our Crystal Ball segment, industry leaders share their predictions for the future.
Think ahead to the next 3 or 5 years, maybe around about that sort of length of time. Where do you see the logistics packaging sector heading, especially around in terms of sustainability and the circular economy?
Opinion.
Okay.
In the next 3 to 5 years, industry will accelerate the transformation towards mandatory circular mode, driven by regulations. Reusable packaging will become mainstream. Digitalization and the intelligent tracking will be future popularized, and shared pooling mode like we're doing now. So we'll expand from automobiles to more consumer goods sectors. So achieving a lower carbon footprint and a higher efficiency. That's my understanding for the next 3 to 5 years.
That's great. I wish for that to come true, as we all do. So you think shared packaging pools will play a role in the sort of the broader shift towards greener supply chains?
The shared packaging pool will become the core engine of green transformation by enabling large-scale reuse. It significantly reduces the demand for single-use packaging, helps enterprise achieve net zero goals, and simultaneously lower cost and risks because it's sharing constantly. So you don't need to keep this access like each of the player or stakeholders in this network can be shared the cost of the packaging. So in Europe, this will directly support the EU's circular economy goals.
It's fair to say, I think, that the reduction in carbon is driven by two main factors within the supply chain. One would be a customer demand, a consumer demand for lower carbon, but the other is, of course, regulatory. How does ALSCO keep its ear to the ground? How are you stay ahead of the game when it comes to understanding what the requirements are going to be? I would say particularly regulatory that are coming down the line.
Peter, our principle is in somewhere for somewhere. So like we are in Europe, majority of our principle is working for the local demand. So we have joint relevant aliens actively participated in the regulatory discussion and invested recyclable materials and digital reporting tools. At the same time, we have stressed the third-party certification to ensure that our products and service meet potential requirements in advance, such as expanded the producer responsibility. So we follow the rule of the European, we also to do our best to contribute to this, like the environment things here.
So you're a man of great business experience, but I bet you still get surprised occasionally by things that are going on. Well, can you give us a little bit of an insight about some of those surprises that you may have come across working in this space, especially in Europe?
What surprised me the most was the deep commitment of European customers to sustainability. It has been integrated into the corporate culture rather than to just being about companies. This has driven the pace of industry innovation and also allow me to see the true transformative potential of the circular economy.
I have to say, when I first came into the industry 20 odd years ago, I've seen this reusable packaging sector grow and grow and grow, and I celebrate it. It's definitely something that I see as a very, very positive move within the industry. Jason, we're coming towards the end of our allotted time here, and I just wondered, maybe a difficult question to finish off with, but maybe just to bring this episode of Logistics Business Conversations to a close, maybe convey just one key message to logistics managers who would be considering reusable packaging for the first time.
Well, my suggestion is start with a small scale pilot, calculate the full life cycle cost and the environmental impact. You will be pleasantly surprised to find that reusable rental or leasing or pulling, whatever you call it, the packaging is not only a green choice, but also a strategic reinvestment to enhance the competitiveness. That's my understanding.
And I guess it's fair to say they're not cast out on their own. You'll be there to hold their hands. Your
Exactly.
company will be there to support them through this journey, I guess.
That's true. Yes.
Well, I want to thank ALSCO for supporting this edition of Logistics Business Conversations, and also thank you to you, the listener, for joining us today. Wherever you get your podcasts from, please do subscribe to Logistics Business Conversations to make sure the next edition is delivered straight to you as soon as it's released. Until then, it's goodbye from Jason Lee.
Well, thank you again, Peter, and all the listeners for your valuable time.
Thank you, Jason. And it's been great having you on the show. And then it just remains for me to say it's goodbye from me, Peter MacLeod. Goodbye and thank you.